Boom. Nailed it. Okay. All right, guys. Welcome. Oh, Justin, can you turn off the music for me? Thank you. Okay, crew. So if you're just arriving, get yourself an in-body scan. Get yourself checked in for class. Pretty please. And then come on over, have a seat. Does everyone have a packet? Everyone have a packet? You will find your packet on your seat. Oh, thank you. You guys don't want me to drink this. I'm already intense enough as it is. Thank you. Thanks for getting me coffee. Yeah. I need everyone to have a packet. You're going to want a packet. Does everyone have a pen? We can also solve pen problems. Cool. Okay, we're ready. You guys ready? Ready. We need a pen here. Pen there, pen here. Throw one at me. Either way works. Pretty quick. Again. All right. Thank you guys for coming. I was thinking about this. I think about everything all the time, but I was thinking about this early this morning and about how you guys are coming to learn from us here at Pace Health and Fitness. And the truth is that this is not our data. We are a relay point. We're learning this information and then distilling it down to something that makes sense and you can actually use to improve your health. There's so much information out there. And what we try and do is sift through all of it and look for the sources we can trust and then deliver it to you in a way that you can apply that information to improve your health, because that's all we really care about. We don't care who's right, who's wrong, who has the right motives, who has the wrong motives. We don't care. All we care about is that it actually works to get you to a better place in your body and in your health. So thank you guys for trusting us to do that for you. These are newer topics for us. So Josh and I took our first MetFix seminar. I guess it's been 2 years now. But that's new compared to everything else that we've been teaching. So if you guys have any questions and we can't answer it, we will pause, we will Google, and we will figure it out. Okay? Deal? Okay. So what is MetFix? MetFix stands for Metabolic Fix. Did you know that? No? Okay. Guys, look over there, that big flag above the bathrooms, the blue one. It says MetFix. We're a MetFix affiliate. This is a company who is doing this education. They're an education company and bringing this information to the general public to help them improve their metabolic health. Metabolic. This is a word that gets thrown around all the time, and a lot of people think it's just how fast you burn food and you burn off your calories. But the truth is, metabolism refers to every process that happens in your body to utilize energy. And energy does come from food, so it's not a complete, miss idea, but it's every process. So constructing a hormone inside your body is a metabolic process. Breaking down and disposing of old cells is a metabolic process. Anything that requires energy in your body is part of metabolism. So metabolic health is a huge deal, yeah? Because being alive is metabolism. And metabolic health is the aim and target for MetFix. We're trying to improve metabolic health. Spark is the program that MetFix coaches got together and created to take all this information that we received as coaches and make it deliverable to our members and the people that trust us to help them get healthier. So that's what Spark is, and that's what you're here for. This program is not like Quick Cut. It is different. This is not like Buns and Guns. It is different. All three of our nutrition programs have different purposes. And all together, if you do all three, you're exposing your body to 3 different protocols for eating, 3 different nutrition protocols. And through that experience, you're going to be able to decide for yourself what works the best for you and your personal goals. Because some of you have goals that are completely different than others. Raise your hand if you have a goal to build muscle mass. Sweet. That's Buns and Guns. Raise your hand if you have a goal to lose body fat. Good. That's Quick Cut. Raise your hands if you have a goal to maintain your health for as long as possible and prevent chronic disease. Good, that's Spark. I'm glad you're here. This is the right program, okay? But the protocols are different. You okay with that? In nutrition, there is no right or wrong. There's what's going to work for your goals, and then there's what's not going to work for your goals. That's it. There's no right and wrong. Have any of you ever asked me a question like, is it good to eat bananas? And I go, well, it depends. All the time, right? It's because it depends on your goals and who you are and where you're coming from. There is no set right and wrong. Cool? Well, there's a couple. Drugs are bad. Yeah. Okay, wrong. Drugs are bad. We'll stay away from those. They mess up metabolism in every way you can imagine. We'll just avoid those. Cool? Okay. All right, so what is health? If we are eating for health, we better know what we're eating for. Health is a state of soundness of body and mind with freedom from disease or illness. So you're not worried about it. Your body's doing great. It's ticking along. All the processes inside your body are going just fine. We don't have any extra growths or any weird hiccups going on. That's health. And when I was probably 16, I was out of the house. I was at boarding school, and I grew up in a home that didn't have processed food. We didn't have any sugar in the house. I used to sneak the Ricola cough drops because it was the only form of sweetness in my house. And I'd get in trouble. Right? I'd hide the wrappers in the bottom of the trash can. Yeah, that was it. So when I ended up on my own, I didn't have any education to go along with the habits. And at my school, we had a cook who would make just the most delicious, freshly baked bread. So we'd come down from our dorms, and the smell was, to die for every morning. And then I had a girlfriend who introduced me to what she called coffee, but it was really just cream and sugar with a splash of coffee in it. And that was breakfast. It was like the best thing ever. And I was an athlete all my life, doing every sport. And this was... It's okay. I think he's okay. So yeah, I was really active, and when I was in school, I wasn't as active. But bread and coffee became my diet because why not? And then my body just sort of expanded, and I was in a uniform, so I would get new uniforms. It wasn't a problem. I would just go to the uniform exchange and say these don't fit, and they'd give me new ones, right? And so that wasn't a problem, but my dad came to visit and took me out to breakfast, and the only thing I could get on was overalls, a pair of overalls, and they were really, really tight. And my dad was like, hey, like, what's happening? Do you need to go shopping? And I was like, actually, yes, I don't have any clothes that fit. And he's like, okay. He's like, what have you been eating? And we talked about my food, and I had no idea that anything was going sideways. No idea, not a clue. Honestly, I didn't even really understand what exercise was because I always did sports. The idea of exercise was like, why would you just go run? Like, you're not running towards a ball or a human that has the ball? Like, I don't get it. And so he told me at that time, he goes, well, you know what? There's something to that. Not being worried about your body, it's a sign of health. People who aren't worried and aren't concerned, they generally have healthy bodies. Anyone worried about their health? There might be something you're worried about, right? And so, there's opportunity in your health to improve. So what is health? Soundness of body and mind with freedom from disease or illness. And I would say even freedom from worry. You're not worried because you know your body is doing the right things and you're doing the right things for your body. So where do we get it? Well, if you go to Instagram, there's lots of options. You can get it from drugs. We have the new GLP-1s. They are fabulous, and they will give you health. We could get it from antioxidants. Remember this craze? Probably about 30 years ago, the antioxidant craze. The colors of the rainbow. Eat all the colors. Chocolate is good for you because it has antioxidants. My favorite, wine is good for you because it has antioxidants. Yes? Anybody? Red wine. White wine is out. Red wine is in because of antioxidants. The sun. You must get sunshine in your eyeballs between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. No sunglasses. It's got to go into your eyeballs to get the health. You don't know about that one? Okay. Well, now you know. Yep. So get on it. Protein. You get your health from eating a lot of protein. This is probably the biggest thing right now. Every food company under the sun, you can now get protein Oreos. Like everything you ever wanted now has protein in it. Protein beer. Fabulous. I don't know why we try. Grounding. If you take your shoes off and go stand in the grass out there, you will find health. Grounding, yeah? Fasting, just don't eat. Just don't eat for long periods of time and your body will reset. Yeah? Okay? Blue light glasses. Yeah? Wear your blue light glasses. Get glass Tupperware. Stop using your plastic containers, right? Health is found in glass Tupperware. You guys get what I'm saying, yeah? There's so many things. Saunas, cold plunges, peptides is a big craze. Peptides is just when you take the most basic form of a protein, it's called an amino acid, and you put it in a chain, that's a peptide. It's just another form of protein, but it's a step down from a full protein. A protein is a bunch of peptides tangled together. Cool, that's all a peptide is. But these people are injecting themselves with these now, different formulas of these things that are supposed to be miracle cures for everything. Some studies have been done where they've tested the things people are injecting themselves with, and there's no peptides in there. It's all sorts of other stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's this market, right? The health and wellness market, the supplement market. It's not about your health. It's about making money off of your concern for your health. That's how it works. But where do we really, really find health? Anyone know? Oh, yeah! Good call. I pay her. Pace Health and Fitness. But what do you find here? Two things. Nutrition and exercise. Food and movement. The power of food and movement goes so far beyond these things that if you ignored all of this and you just did food and movement, you're going to get healthier. Yeah? Okay. And sleep. Absolutely. Okay. So the problem is we have two things to talk about here. We have our personal problem. I hear all the time, I get, especially our newer folks who come into the gym, they're like, I don't have any discipline. I can't stay consistent. Basically, they don't even trust themselves to stay with a program. And it's so heartbreaking because the truth is we are programmed biologically to survive. Like our bodies are programmed, pre-wired to live, to survive. And one of the things that we had to be programmed for originally was not to waste any energy. So if you go back to our origins and what was necessary to survive as humans, we could not waste energy. We had to spend our energy in ways that kept us alive. So through hunting and gathering and building shelters and maintaining our shelters. That's what was necessary for survival. So wasting energy was actually what we would say a non-survival activity. And you guys are trying to force yourself to waste energy for an hour a day, 5 to 6 days a week. That's called exercise. It is a giant waste of energy because you're not producing food or shelter as a result of it. So it's a complete opposite of how your body is wired. Your body is wired to want to sit on the couch. That is correct. That is survival. Don't waste energy. You're also wired to consume carbohydrates whenever they are available and as much as possible. Because when we were in our original times as humans, if you got access to fruit or something sweet, you needed to eat it. It was going to go bad, and you needed to eat it right then and as much as you could to get your stores tapped out to then go do building shelters, hunting, and other gatherings. So our taste buds were designed to want the sugar and get you to continue eating the sugar. You get a hormonal response that makes you want to eat sugar. That is your body. This is a physical thing. This is not a mental illness. Your body wants sweets because it's programmed to want sweets and eat and eat and eat it. Here's the problem. These days, we don't have limited access to food. We don't have to build our shelters. That's what Michael Waters is here for. Quick plug. He'll build your shelter. Yes. You don't have to build it. You can even make a great living from your couch. Who works from home? Yeah. Who sits on their couch while they're working? Hello? You don't even have to leave your living room to make a living and keep your shelter. You don't have to leave your living room to even go grocery shopping anymore. Who does Instacart? Right. So you can sit on your couch, make a living, pay your bills, continue to sit on your couch, and get food delivered to your door. You can even have someone else cook the food and someone else deliver it, right? Those apps, what are they called? DoorDash. What is it? DoorDash. Yeah, that one. So that's the problem. We're programmed biologically to sit on our couch and eat as many carbohydrates as we can. But now it's all so easy. It's too easy. And if we do that and we follow our biological instincts, we're going to get into deep trouble, yeah? Okay, so that's our personal problem that we are constantly fighting against. And then we have the social problem that just capitalizes on that problem. And there, we've got huge companies with huge amounts of money who make money on you eating. They go, let's just get them to eat a lot of our product and love it and eat more of it, and they make money. And then we have the other companies who make money on you getting sick. The sicker you are, the more medication you need, the more money they make. So these two industries, our drug industry and our food industry, are also working against our health. They promote it as supporting your health. That's what they're there for, right? Keep you alive when you have diabetes, keep you alive when you have high blood pressure. Of course, that's how it goes. But the truth is, they'd be out of business if none of us had diabetes and none of us had high blood pressure. So they need us to have that. They need us to get to these states, stay in them, so that we continue on their medication. That's how they survive. So we have two things working against us. My point in telling you all this is not to make you feel like this is hopeless, but to realize that this is a fight. And as soon as you give up the fight, you will start walking towards illness. You have to keep pushing. There's nothing easy about it. Anyone disagree? Like this is easy peasy? No, it's constant, you guys. As you practice and as years go on, it does get easier. But if you, as soon as you decide to go with the flow and take a break, taking a break does not mean you stand still in the health you have. It means the pressures of these things start to push you towards illness again. That's what taking a break really looks like. And when you find that steady drive, that's where we find the best health of our lives. Okay? So, the 5 buckets of death. I love that reaction. I got that last time. I know. I'm so used to this lecture. It's been around for 20 years. And this lecture was given in medical schools all over the US about 20 years ago. And this is about why we die, how we die. We've got these buckets here are the smaller buckets. We only have 20% of our deaths in America happening because of these reasons. So microbic is like a virus, a bacterial infection, something like that. Genetic is you just pick the wrong parents. Kinetic is a car accident, fall off a cliff, whatever, right? And toxic is you were poisoned or, those things. Snake bite, I don't know, some kind of poison. Sorry, I don't know. 20% of why we die. Only 20% are these things. Now, these are the things we worry about. Isn't that funny? This is what I worry about, right? I had a guy come to my door yesterday trying to sell me a security thing for my house. And I was like, I'm just not worried about that stuff. Like, he's like, oh, but somebody, and I'm like, they might, but I'm not worried about it. I don't worry. But we worry a lot about these things. This is what's all over the news, but it's only 20%. The 80% of us are passing away from chronic disease. 80%. This isn't newsworthy, right? These are the things that the lack of movement and the excess intake of carbohydrates lead to. It's right here. Lack of movement and excess intake of carbohydrates. That's what gets us here. And so knowing that, we divide these buckets by what we call the willful divide. Because there is some choice. And that's a hard pill to swallow. especially when you see someone suffering who made the choice to have chronic disease. Ooh, that's harsh, right? If they didn't know, they never had a chance to make the choice. So we don't need to like look down on them in any way. A lot of people don't know that they are making that choice. Every time they take their kids to McDonald's and buy them a Happy Meal, they are making a choice and they are pushing their children towards chronic disease and themselves. But they don't know that, right? And so education is the bridge. Education is the missing link. And so that's what MET-Fix is all about. That's what we are all about at Pace Health and Fitness is education. This isn't a blame game. This is we need to teach you so that you know. And so once you know, you can then apply it to yourself and apply it to the people you love and care about that you want to keep out of chronic disease. Cool? Any questions on this? Okay. He's getting all the attention because he keeps touching the fan. Very smart. So we've got chronic disease. Our cause is lack of movement and poor nutrition. The solution is crazy, off the couch, off the carbs. That's it. Food and movement. That's it. Think about that, right? For 80% of our deaths, the answer is just less carbs and more exercise. It doesn't, unfortunately, it's not super profitable. I'll tell you all about it. The industry is not very lucrative. So it's easier to keep people sick and sell them drugs because you make a lot of money. Our whole system is rigged to make a lot of money through those solutions, right? But when it comes to diet and exercise, there's not a lot of money. So, it keeps going and going and going. But lucky for you, you have Josh and I who don't care about money. Just kidding. We care. All right. So let's talk about science. MET-Fix this is a really cool thing about the MET-Fix program. It's actually just the execution arm of a company called the Broken Science Initiative. Thank you. There's my word. Broken Science Initiative. Broken Science Initiative is a nonprofit who's doing research, reviewing research, and publishing data based on truth. It's also a whistleblowing agency that's whistleblowing on non-repeatable science that can't be replicated, which is out there in abundance, cannot be repeated. Science must be able to be measured, observable, and repeatable. Those three things have to be there for us to call it science. And so MET-Fix uses measurable, observable, and repeatable data in order to produce results in health. The three models of health that we use are from CrossFit. The founder of the Broken Science Initiative is also the founder of CrossFit. Same dude, okay? Very science-driven. CrossFit is a science program. It is not just some random, wouldn't it be fun if we did this program. It was designed to be measurable, observable, and repeatable to producing fitness. There is no other fitness program out there that has utilized the scientific method to develop its program other than CrossFit. MET-Fix is no different. We're just filling the gap on nutrition. So in terms of knowing what health is, we have these three different models. You guys are all familiar with this, yes? Everyone should be if you've been to Fitness 101. Okay, good. So this has been around a long time, but what it does is it helps give us some perspective on where fitness fits into this whole health thing. Anyone think of fitness and health as different things? Not anymore. But the world does. Yeah? Someone says, boy, are you fit? They don't mean, boy, are you healthy? Yeah, if someone comes up to you and says, boy, are you healthy? You're like, what do you mean? Right? But really, fitness is just extreme health. That's all it is. And this helps us get some perspective on that because we can plot any health marker on this scale and we can plot right alongside it any fitness marker on this scale. For example, blood pressure. If you have a healthy blood pressure, we're talking like 110/70, something like that. So we're like over here. It's healthy. It's fit. Same. If you can run a mile in under 8 minutes, we'd also plot you over here right alongside that healthy blood pressure. If you have a blood pressure of 140/100, That's awful, right? It's bad. That's like, we need medication. We need to intervene right away. Sick, right? This person probably isn't finishing a mile run. They probably are not even finishing a mile walk. They've got to stop and rest. We call that sick. And then in the middle, we have like, okay, I can do a mile without stopping, walking or running. Cool. We're well. We got that. And their blood pressure is probably just riding that line, 120/80. Anyone think of 120/80 as healthy? Raise your hand. Not anymore? Good. That's because it could be better. In the health industry, we have these hard lines. You guys look at your labs, you go, well, it's in the healthy range. Forget that it's on the edge. It's like teetering. You're like, it's right inside the line, right? Our health doesn't work that way. Our bodies don't work that way. It's gradual. And so the further away you are from that sick level, the more health you have. And the way we gain that health is through fitness. And the way we gain fitness is through movement and nutrition. Make sense? That's how it's all connected. Another way that we talk about health is your work capacity. Capacity means the amount you can do, the amount you can hold. You think about the capacity of a bucket. How much can it hold inside? If we think about the capacity of a human, we're talking about the work you can do. I have a great capacity for bringing in my groceries when I don't use Instacart. I can take 10 bags in both hands and get them inside the house. That's capacity. My 11-year-old has a 4-bag capacity as long as there's no milk in the bags. And if you give her any more than that, one of the bags is not coming in. And she's probably screaming, right? That is a less capacity. So work capacity is a symptom of health. If you have a lot of health, you can do a lot of stuff. How many of you know how long it takes you to clean your house? Okay, how long, Jenny? Hour and a half. Before you started your fitness journey and nutrition with us, how long did it take you to clean your house? A couple days. That's right. That is an awesome improvement in work capacity. I time everything because, I'm a CrossFitter. I time everything. I know how long it takes me to do the dishes. I know how long it takes me to go pee. I know how long it takes me to meal prep. Everything is timed. The more efficient you are, right, the quicker you go. The more efficient your body is, the better your body works, the quicker everything goes. We call that work capacity. Can you guys think of another example of like life and how life has gotten easier? Yeah, Reuven. Yeah. You sound like a weirdo. He's a mechanic. Okay, everyone was like, why is he jumping on trucks and creeping? He works on big rigs. So under and over is a big deal. Great. So it gets easier, you get more efficient. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Holding kids is a big one. Absolutely. So we call that work capacity, and we measure it. I don't want to get too deep into this, but we just measure it by how much power you can produce while you're working. The more power you produce, the higher you are over here. The lower power you produce, the lower you are down here. And over time, if we work for a long time, our power naturally goes down, right? If I have you do a 45-minute workout, you're going to go at like this speed. If I have you do a 4-minute workout, you're going to go at this speed, right? So that's just a difference in our power output in that time. So the power goes down as the time goes long. That's what this is showing, power and time. If we were to take all your workouts from this week, we did benchmark week. So you have all these marks now, and we could calculate how much power you produced in every single workout, and we could plot it on here. So we did Grace. Everyone did a less than 5-minute workout this week. Grace is going to be like somewhere in here. See how this is 10 minutes. So it's going to be like somewhere around here. This is Grace. And then we also did Fight Gone Bad this morning. That was a 16-minute workout. Okay. So we're going to be somewhere in here with our power on that one. Now we also did a 1-rep max snatch, right? Those are fast. So short time, we're talking seconds. And we got some good weight up, right? So we produce a lot of power in a short amount of time. Cool. If we do that, we get a snapshot of what we call your health. Everything underneath this curve is what you're capable of based on your actual performance. And that's how we measure how much health you have. We call it the area under the curve. Cool? It's just math. That's all. And then over time, year after year, benchmark week after benchmark week, as your numbers go up, as your power comes up and you start producing more in less time, this goes up and up and up, and you get more and more area under the curve, more capacity, more capability. And then we get over a lifetime, a graph. So if you look at this and slice this way, you take this slice and it's just slice, 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 you get this mountain range of your capacity. And the bigger your mountain range, the healthier you are. The game is to keep your capacity as high as possible for as long as possible. And that's going to produce the greatest amount of health possible. Questions on that? Okay, one more. This is metabolic flexibility, and this is the missing link. We already knew those other things from all our years doing CrossFit. But this one is about how our body actually utilizes energy. We have different sources of energy. We have meat and vegetables and fruit and grains. These are all sources of energy. These are all gasoline. And these have different categories like protein and carbohydrates. You guys familiar? When our body is given carbohydrates on a regular basis, just drip fed carbohydrates, it likes that. Remember, our body loves carbohydrates. Quick energy, easy to work with. We don't have to do a lot of work to use it. You can literally rub sugar on your gums and receive energy through the gums of your mouth. You don't even have to swallow. But if you took a stick of butter and rubbed butter on your gums, I hope you go home and do this experiment. Rub butter on your gums, you're not going to receive any energy because you need to swallow it. It needs to go into your digestive tract, and it's got to get broken down by enzymes before it can be absorbed and turned into a source of energy. So your body loves carbs, right? Yeah? Anyone? No? Just me? I love carbs. Body loves it. So easy. The problem is, if you feed your body carbs on a regular, consistent basis, it has absolutely no reason to do the hard work to break down body fat or the fat you eat. No reason at all. Why would it? You got a constant drip feed of carbohydrates coming in. So by reducing the amount of carbohydrates you eat, it forces your body to go back to using fat as energy, the fat you're storing and the fat you're eating. But that switch is hard. Your body isn't good at it anymore. Now, when you were an infant, you were very good at it. You were surviving on mama's milk, which was very, very rich in fat. Very rich. Your body did great on fat. It wasn't until mama switched you to apple juice and Cheez-Its and Goldfish that your body started to switch from fat utilization to carbohydrate utilization and stopped knowing how to use the fat. Why would it? Doesn't do it anymore. So we call that metabolic flexibility. A truly healthy body can utilize both. It can handle carbohydrates just fine, and it also knows how to utilize fat as energy. But the only way we have a body that can do that is we have to reduce the carbohydrates so that it learns how to use fat again. We have to teach it how to do it. It's just training. Just like you train your body to do stuff out here that's weird and uncomfortable and unusual and doesn't feel good, you have to train your body to use fats again. And it's weird and unusual and it's uncomfortable. It's training. You're training your metabolic systems. So this graph it's showing what's called the crossover point, where our body goes from using fat mostly to using carbohydrates mostly. Your body's using all of it at the same time, all the time, okay? But it's percentages. So the sooner this crossover point happens, this is time, the sooner this happens, the less flexible you are. Your body goes, oh dang, he got up to walk, we better switch to carbs. Right? You got up off the couch to go to the kitchen, your body's like, oh, activity, switch to carbs, right? That would be a very metabolically unhealthy and unflexible human. You should be able to get off the couch, go to the kitchen to cook dinner without snapping into carbohydrate utilization. You know if you're here if you have to constantly eat. And if you have big dips in energy and you feel like you're jonesing, I think that's the word when you need drugs, jonesing for carbohydrates, you know you've got some metabolic inflexibility. Unless you're at like 5% body fat, because then you just don't have any fat on board. That makes sense. You better be going to eat, right? If you've got fat on board, if you've got some extra body fat on your body should be able to tap into that to do things like walk to the kitchen and cook dinner. Shouldn't be a problem. Because you got energy on board. You got storage. You've got a savings account. Yeah? Questions on this? Okay. So how do we fix it? Well, it's crazy. We're going to eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar, and no seed oils. I know. It's the same. I'm going to swear. Same shit. A different way. Okay? Same old. This is what works. This is a science program. This is based on actual experiment, observation, assessment, right? All of this has been developed over time because it worked. There's different ways and ratios to eat these foods. And that's what our programs are about. It's just teaching you the different ways to do this. It's not one size fits all. So in Spark, we're going to eat high fat, moderate protein, and low carbohydrate to try and help your body learn how to utilize fat again. We're going to do this crazy thing called constantly varied functional movement done at high intensity. Crazy! It's just our workouts, guys. It's what you do all the time. All you got to do is keep doing what you're doing, okay? That's the solution. That's the fix. So we're going to get into you now. Open up your book. Everyone have a pen? And the very first thing you'll see is Keys to Success. You guys can read that later. Go to the next page, awareness handout. It is so important because this is hard that you understand why you're doing this for you. Some of you are doing this for your grandkids. Some of you are doing this for your kids. Some of you are doing it for yourself, okay? Everybody's reasons are different. Some of you are doing it for your communities. Whatever your reason is, I want you to write it down. Why are you doing this? Why does it matter? And I want to be healthy is only an eighth of the answer. Why do you want to be healthy? Why do you want to be metabolically flexible? Why do you want to have a high work capacity? What are you going to use your work capacity for? What are you going to use all those extra years of your life where you are capable? What are you going to use that time for? Write it down. Anyone want to share? All right, Jen, tell us.
Sure. I just put to keep my body healthy, to do all the things that I want to do with my family and my children.
Awesome. That's great. Anyone else want to share? Yes.
I don't want my son to have to take care of me.
Nice. It's awesome. Anyone ever do caregiving? Boy, oh boy. If you ever look up the statistics on caregiving, it's rough. The caregivers actually go first a lot of the time, depending on the condition, of course. But it's rough. I'm not even going to pretend to understand what it's like. But one time, my daughter broke her leg, and she was in a cast up to here and in a wheelchair, right? You guys, so a lot of you remember, she'd wheeling around here. And she would not let, it was so painful, she wouldn't let anyone else touch her besides me, like to get her to the bathroom or get her off the couch or get her to bed or get her out of the bed, right? And I thanked God every day that I had work capacity because my daughter is not light. She's like, at that time, she's probably like 125 pounds and she's stuck in this position and she ain't helping at all, right? And it was hard. It was really hard. It was psychologically hard, right? It was emotionally hard. she had to miss a vacation with her dad because of it. And so she's stuck at home with me for 2 weeks when she's supposed to be out having summer break with her dad and her step siblings. And it was rough. But caregiving is huge. The more capacity you have and the healthier you are and the better your body can utilize the energy you're feeding it, the easier that will go. The more chance you have of survival and their survival. Yeah. Okay, who else? Okay, cool. Everyone got that though? All right, so if we flip the page, we're gonna write down some goals. Now, usually when we write goals, right, we write it as something, it's just the opposite side. We usually write it as something that's measurable. We're gonna start with a broad statement goal, like my goal is. And then underneath that, we're going to look at objective ways of measuring it and subjective ways of measuring it. These get confused all the time. Objective means you can measure it. It's a hard yes or no. You either did 5 pull-ups in a row or you didn't. Yeah? You either ran the mile in under 10 or you didn't. Those are objective goals. A subjective goal would be able to go all day without having to eat, right? What does that mean, having to? Like you didn't keel over and die, sure. But like if you had a panic attack at 3 o'clock, you probably didn't hit the goal. But it's hard to say because if you didn't eat till, 7 o'clock at night, well then, did you do it? I don't know. It's subjective. It's up to you whether or not you did that. Cool? So write your general statement as your goal, your personal goal right there at the top. And then we're going to break it down into some subjective goals and some objective goals. It could be like an example is like, I just want to feel better on a day-to-day basis, period. All right, how do we measure that? Make sense? Okay. Josh, if you give him a cup and turn that spout on, it'll probably keep him busy for like an hour. So give him a cup and turn that spout on, and he's going to have the best day of his life. In the cup? Okay. In the cup. Okay. Well, good thing Josh is a doctor. All right. Very, very exciting. All right, how we doing? Got some objective, got some subjective? A lot of you guys know these already because we help you with these one-on-one. It doesn't have to be everything. This could be like a blood pressure number, get my blood pressure down to this or that, or get off this medication. That would be objective. You either did or you didn't. It could be do a mile in less than 10 minutes. Something you could answer yes or no to. Yeah. It could be a body fat percentage. Have my body fat percentage under 40. That could be an objective goal. A yes or no. All right. The next page is an intake form. This is completely up to you. We did this as like everyone did this last time. We found it less than necessary. If you like to track your changes and your health with medical health metrics, like biomarkers, like your blood pressure, your blood sugar, right? Your A1C marks, things like that. You should fill this out with the most current data you have or go get your blood work done. If you just set a goal to get your A1C to a certain range, that's how we measure blood sugar, right? If you just set a goal for that, then you should know what your numbers are. And so that's what this intake form is for. It's up to you, depending on what you like to use as your measurements of health. On the other side of the intake form is some things that you might get out of the InBody scan. So like your body fat percentage, your weight. You could do circumference measurements if you're just looking at that. So these are up to you, which ones you're using based on what you like to track. You can take your time filling that out, or you can ignore it altogether. We're all going to use InBody scans for sure. We all can use that. Then flip to the next page. This is the kitchen audit. So during Spark, we're going to do a couple things to make this easier on you. First thing is we're going to meet here every week, except for that one in the middle. Okay. But you guys have each other to depend on here too. The other thing we're going to do is educate you so you understand why you're doing these things. But the other thing we're going to do is we're going to make your environment more safe and less of a fight. And by cleaning out your home where you live and eat most of the time, and you're going to be eating a lot of the time on this program, it will help you do this easier. We're going to make this easier so you don't have food in the cabinets calling your name when you're trying to go to bed at night. Anyone? Just me? Yeah. Okay, good. I'm not alone. I lay in bed and I can hear it if it's in my house. So we're going to circle everything on this list that you know is in your house. Go. Big circles around everything on this list, whether it's yours or not. If it's in your house, it's in your environment. Circle it. Recognize it's there. No, circle it. Everything on that list that you know is in your house, put a circle around it. Yeah. Good for you, Stace.
It's so funny because, like, you asked me this in like a couple more weeks and my kids are gone. None of this stuff. Like, that I'm circling being here.
We're going to talk about that. Those kids, man. It's still maple syrup. Oh, yeah. If it's maple syrup, just circle it. Yes. Breakfast cereal is breakfast cereal. Any type of breakfast cereal. Who has nothing to circle? You have stuff to circle. It's in your house. Yeah, I know. Okay. Let's talk about it. Some of this stuff doesn't belong to you. At least that's the going excuse at the moment. Okay. Any kind of honey. Any kind. The sugar. Okay. So here's the deal. If you're not feeding it to yourself, why are you feeding it to someone you love? Guys, this is so freaking hard. We are more likely to feed our pets better than we are to feed ourselves. We are more likely to give our pets their medication than to take our own. Did you know that, statistically speaking? Crazy. We take care of others way better than we take care of ourselves. Why do we do this on food? Why do we give them food that we would not put in our own bodies because it's bad for our health, but we put it in their bodies? Why do we bring it to the home where they're living when we know it's making them unhealthy? We are making them sick. And the sooner you take responsibility for that, the sooner they have an opportunity to get well. It's hard, guys. This is not easy. I go through it with my kids, and my kids were raised with me. They've known me their whole lives, and I go through it with them. We're a 2-household family. The other family doesn't have the same education and background, and they've got the stuff in the house, and it's constant battle. And every time we go to a party, it's a constant battle. Constant. I'm not saying this is easy. It is probably the hardest thing in my life. I have an 11-year-old who is addicted to sugar. How is that possible with all that I know? Well, I'll tell you, it's freaking hard. They are their own people, no matter how small they are, right? And so I get it. This is not easy. I'm right there with you. But the sooner we take responsibility, the sooner they can get better. And it's going to be a fight because, like I said, we are not programmed for this. We're not. My daughter is right. She should sit down on the couch, watch TV, and eat carbs all day. That's correct. That is how she is programmed. But I will end up with a sick child. She will end up with fatty liver disease or diabetes if I let that happen. Okay? So the challenge here is to throw out everything you just circled. Everything. And you're going to have to deal with your people. You're going to have to deal with them. You're going to have conversations with them. If they won't do it for themselves, ask them to do it for you. It's just like the Bring a Friend week, right? They're not going to come in here and get a workout for themselves. So you ask them to do it for you. Do it for me. I want to win some shoes. Do it for my crazy coach. She wants to have 100 friends come in 1 week. It's never been done before, right? You have them do it for you. Some of you came in here for somebody else. How many? How many of you came in here on a trick? Yeah. They just wanted to win the raffle, right? Here you are, 6 months later and way better than you were before. Jealousy. Yeah, sure. Well, but that's for you, right? Like, I want it. Yeah. Yeah, cool. That works. Jealousy works. So I get that it's hard, and we're going to do this together. We're going to go through this struggle together. Talk to your people. Have a real conversation with them. You guys know. You know how to do real. You guys are all old enough, right? You guys are mature enough to know how to have real conversations. This isn't a walking through the kitchen while they're sitting on the couch eating Cheetos, snatching it out of their hand and going, you shouldn't eat that, and throwing it in the trash. That's not going to go well. This is a sit down at the dinner table and say, guys, I'm doing a challenge and I'd really like your help and support. Here's what we need to do. Show them your workbook. We're supposed to throw this stuff out. Can we do this together? Can we do it together? You know, try to bring them on board. And if not, just move out. Okay. Here's some resources for you. This is a really cool website. This is the Broken Science Initiative website. They do something every day. They give you a workout to do. You don't need to do that. Okay, we got you covered. They give you something to read, something to study. If you want to, okay, I'm going to teach you, we have a strategy on this that I can teach you about. These are 25, 75 pages at a time sometimes. Gnarly, okay? If you don't have time for that, I'm going to teach you some strategies for being able to break down these things into more digestible pieces of information, okay? But the one that's really cool that's going to help us a lot is the recipes. So the Metfix prescription is high fat, moderate protein, and low carbohydrate. And they give us a recipe every day that follows that prescription. So if you're like, I'm not much of a cook, or I don't know how to cook that way, pop in here. Every day there's a brand new recipe. Belly is the recipe, body is the workout, brain is the article that you could read. So it's just Daily Fix, like this, on Broken Science. If you just type in Daily Fix into your browser, it'll pop right up. Cool? So and you can always go backwards and get hundreds of recipes just going backwards. Can't go forward, just like Sugar WOD, right? Totally. Yeah, they post them on Instagram. I have a deck of cards around here somewhere that has, yeah, right here. Someday they'll come out with a book. This is kind of fun. There's a QR code, all these recipes. Yeah, kind of fun. So if you guys are sitting in the lobby, I'll make sure they're out. That was our Christmas gift from them. So that's Broken Science. So here we are. Your challenge starts now. This is going to be a challenge, yes? Yes. So we need a couple things from you this week. We need self-assessment. You've got to get an in-body scan. Raise your hand if you did it. You have one from this week. Okay, great. Labs. If you want to use labs, biomarkers, as your objective measurement of your health, go get some labs. You're about to try something brand new. Let's see what it does to you, okay? Your throw out list or your kitchen audit. You're going to throw it out. Throw it out. That's what you're doing when you go home today. Yay! Eat. Most important part of our challenge. You do need to eat. every time we do a challenge, every time, none of our challenges include not eating. None of them. But every time I get a handful of people who come up to me, I'm so hungry. And I'm like, why? Eat. Why aren't you eating? Eat. If you're hungry, you need to eat. There's tons to, I don't know what to eat. Okay, you don't know what to eat. Start there. You're hungry, go eat. Okay, don't keep yourself from eating. This switch from carbohydrates to fat is not going to happen through starvation. Anyone starve themselves and try to get fit starving themselves? Nobody? You called it fasting. Yeah, dieting. Did you get healthy? No, it doesn't work, guys. You have to eat. Okay, so please don't come to me and tell me you're hungry unless you're just asking about our bars. Okay. Eat at home. We got to eat at home. Here's why. There's definitely ways to eat out, okay? And you need to learn how to eat out. But if you eat at home, you're fully in control of your food. We're not going to be eating seed oils, for example. And a lot of the food out there is cooked in seed oils. A lot of it. They'll even tell you it's cooked in olive oil, and then you go ask to see the ingredients on their olive oil jug, and it's cut with seed oil. Yeah, it's not 100% olive oil. They think they're cooking it in olive oil because the container said olive oil. Okay? There's a lot of variables when you go out and let someone else cook your food. So eat at home. No processed food. None. Zero. Processed food and seed oils are best friends. Okay? Most of your processed food has seed oils in it. Guys, this is crazy. When I first went down the seed oil freaking rabbit hole and I was flipping everything over again in the grocery store, because you get used to your foods. I'm fine, I'm safe. I've already flipped it. Flipping. When I learned about seed oils, I was like, all right, this is a new thing. I started flipping everything again that I was eating normally. Spaghetti sauce, and my daughter was really into the seaweed, the dried seaweed, and I'm like, what? Like, what's wrong with that? It even said avocado oil, 100% avocado oil. Nope. Flip it. Look at the ingredients. They add stuff. Marketing on the front, otherwise known as BS. Facts on the back. Okay? BS on the front, facts on the back. You got to flip it. You guys eat pistachios? Okay, good. Do you eat the wonderful pistachios? No? Okay. Do you eat the flavored wonderful pistachios? They all have seed oils in them. I know. My favorite were the vinegar ones, the salt and vinegar. Oh, to die for. Not anymore. It's got seed oils in it. But if you eat the salt ones, it doesn't. As soon as they start adding flavors to that stuff, they also add in the seed oils. Seed oils are probably new for a lot of you. How many of you have been avoiding seed oils already? Okay, so we're like 50-50. But we're going to talk about why seed oils are problematic for our metabolic health. This is a health talk. This is not a fat loss talk. You can lose fat eating seed oils. Absolutely. Okay, this is a health talk. So no processed food. Oh, here's the big one. Get ready. Take a breath. No protein supplements. It is a processed food. No protein supplements. It is a processed food. You are going to have to start chewing your food and not drinking it. Yeah, this is a big one. It's gonna be hard. No more powders and bars for this challenge. It's only 4 weeks long. This is different, right? For those of you who have gone through Quick Cut, we just prioritize getting you some protein. That's it. We don't care how it goes in, just get it down the hatch. That's right. Yeah, but Fairlife is not just the supplemented protein, it's also the added sugar. Added sugar is anything added to a food to make it sweet, whether it's 0 calorie or not, whether the front of the package says no added sugar or not. Flip it over. If there's anything added to the food that makes it sweet, it's out. You have a list in your pack of all the names. Go ahead, flip to it. There's like so many names. So many names. Somewhere in there. It's this way. almost 3 pages over. No protein powder, no bars, no Fairlife. Not unless you're just drinking whole milk. Drink whole milk. Nope, no Premier Protein. Okay, every possible name for sugar. It's going to be pretty soon, actually. I wish I numbered these pages. Oh, it's right after this guy. There you go. Every possible name for sugar. It looks like this. Can I borrow? Looks like this, guys? This one? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There's still so much that I don't.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, you're taking away my Fairlife, you're taking away my protein in my coffee.
So let's switch.
What am I supposed to have?
So whole milk. Whole milk is a great source of fat, protein, and some carbohydrates. Okay. Cream is a great source of fat. Half and half, great source of fat. We are eating high fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrates. That's the goal. Here's the deal. You guys don't have to worry too much about those ratios yet. This week, you don't have to worry too much. What I want you to work on are these things right here. Amy, these things right here, okay? If you cut out the processed food and you are not consuming anything with added sugar, your carbohydrates will naturally drop down. They are going to drop down because that's where you're getting it mostly, okay? Cool? We're going to be okay. Gonna be all right. I know this is hard, but you know what? I'm so glad you've taken the challenge. It's a challenge. We call it a challenge because it's a challenge, right? And all the good things we're doing are challenging. Yes? I think? Okay. Ready? Focus. Focus. We're gonna log our food. For this challenge, she loves logging her food. Weird, right? For this challenge, we are going to log our food. You need to start now. You need to start today. I don't want you to worry about the numbers this week. I just want you to log your food. We need to get you into the practice of logging every day, logging every meal, everything you consume. This week is your time to practice. Next week, we're going to set goals. And then you're going to have 2 weeks of working on hitting goals. But right now, this is the rules. Okay, and you're just writing it down in MyFitnessPal. We're just collecting data. Yes? Okay. Working out 5 to 6 days a week. Super important. So for those of you in Forever Fit, you've got to get in your other workouts. 3 days a week is not the program. It's 5 to 6 days a week. I'll prove it. Oh, I don't have to move. I just have to move. 5 or 6 days per week. Okay? If it's written, it's true? Yes. Okay. Especially on the internet. 5 to 6 days a week. Forever Fitters, you have access to our at-home training program and our patient training program called Pace Health in SugarWOD. So you can just open your app, go into Pace Health, or go to at-home training and do the workouts at home. Cool? Okay. If you need help with that, let us know. We'll show you how. You have workouts every day. You also can come to Sober Sundays. Sober Sundays, 1 o'clock. That's free for everybody at every time. Okay? So that's a 4th workout that you could get from us. Cool. Study. Yes, studying is part of this program. If you go just past kitchen audit, you're going to find what is MetFix Part 1. If you want to read Part 2, go for it. Just Google it. And then metabolic flexibility, just sort of like some quick notes about what that is, because that's kind of the new topic for us, really. We've heard the work capacity talk. We've heard the fitness continuum talk. But metabolic flexibility is new, so I wanted to give you this one. I wanted to give you a little bit of a refresher on it, and if you go through it and you're like, I don't really get that, and you do some Googling to learn more about it, it gives you sort of a jumping off point for that subject. So please read these before you return next week. If you have any questions, you can text me, or you can wait to ask me them when we see each other. You have a spot in there also under the first form you filled out for questions. So you can start writing down some questions you have underneath your goals and everything, and we can chat. And then make sure you're back here next week. These programs work really well when you show up. They work really, really well when you show up and we talk and we're here together. This is the foundation for everything you're now going to do this week. Without this, we're not as good out there. We're not as strong and solid out there for the week. So please try and be here for our meetings in person. I know a lot of folks do this online. They don't have that same chance to really like feel what we're feeling here and know, right? You guys are all feeling it together. And if you do this by yourself at home, it's not as good. You don't get that feeling. Okay, any questions? Yes. Absolutely. Yes, you could absolutely overeat fat. It's very rare, especially in our culture, that it's suppressed people's eating fat for so long. What I mean is, you guys remember the fat-free era 20 years ago? I think I was a kid. No, that would be 30 years ago. I was an adult 20 years ago. 30 years ago, we went through the whole fat-free craze. 40 years ago? But I'm 40. So when I was born, we all decided not to eat fat. And the line was, fat makes you fat. Yes? Some people remember. I was just being born. Fat makes you fat. Your grandma was taught it, your mom was taught it, and then you were taught it. Okay? It's a lie. Here's what happened when that happened. They took all the fat out of our foods and they replaced it with sugar because foods without fat are gross. Okay? They taste like water and watery yogurt, and it's gross. Okay? But if you add sugar to it, now it tastes good again. So we took the fat out and we put the sugar in, right? Dano yogurt in a tube. Yeah. And then what happened to America is our obesity rates and our chronic disease rates skyrocketed because we suppressed our eating of fat and we increased our eating of carbohydrates, and then we all got sick. So we are trying to reverse that for you on an individual basis. It's really hard to re-educate the public. You have been conditioned. Great grandma did it to grandma, who did it to mom, who did it to you. Okay? I mean, this is against everything for generations. But, guys, it works, and you're going to get to see for yourself how it works for you. You don't have to trust me, just enough to try it. That's it. Okay? For 4 weeks. It to be too much. Yeah. There's a lot of wonderful things that come from reducing carbohydrates and increasing fat. One is you get to eat cheese, Amy, all the time. Wonderful. Butter on everything. Yes? You get to eat cheese all the time. That's fat. I know. You're welcome. So there's high fat. Cheese. Yeah. Guys, I know. Guys, it's weird. It's crazy. All you got to do is just a little bit of trust and try it. And then you don't have to trust me anymore because you'll know for yourself. Okay? Little bit of trust. Try it. That's what this is all about. And then make your own judgments. You decide for yourself. Cool? Okay. I will tell you this. I wouldn't ask you to try it if I didn't know, based on my own experiments with my own body and other people's bodies, that it works. Okay? Because I've experimented on myself and other people's bodies. So it's not just my body that it's worked on. Cool? Yes. Right now, this is what we're doing. Please don't add to this. This is a lot for us. This is what we're doing. Eat at home, no processed food, and no added sugar. That's all we need to do this week. You don't need to do anything else except for that. That's a lot. It's a lot for a lot of us. Okay? Any other questions? Okay. Yes, Deja. That's showing you what a carbohydrate is. We're not on that page yet. You need to do the throwaway list. Okay? We're not there yet. That's week 2. Okay? Any other questions? Yes? All bread would be great to have you throw out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're watching him, yeah? Yeah. You could do cream cheese on celery. You could do cream cheese on a spoon. Bell pepper. Wrap it in some salami. Check your salami. They add sugar to it. Yeah. Get a ribeye. Spread some cream cheese on it. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful weekend. That's a wrap. Yeah.
How much milk in one day would be too much? Because,
We're going to get into quantities next week. Right now, don't worry about it.
okay, well, I mean, I've had this question for a while. I just haven't asked it, but because my dad just he goes to Costco, whatever, buys a 1 gallon thing of milk. I'll probably drink. I don't know. I have tall cups. I fill them and I drink like 3 a day sometimes. So.
Okay. So we're going to set specific goals next week, and you'll know how much is too much based on those goals. But for now, it's nothing to worry about. And milk's awesome. Gives you protein, carbs, and fat. Yeah. So get after it. Yeah. You'll learn how much is too much once we have goals for you. And they're personal goals, so I can't really answer that yet. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to just turn this off.